Number 1, the sage. An archetype in Jungian psychology is a tendency to form representations of a mythical image or motif that can vary a great deal in detail without losing their basic pattern. The sage, wise old man, profound philosopher, reflective, analytical, always ready with an appropriate quote. Foreguarded and unfevered and serene, back to the perilous gates of truth he went, back to fierce wisdom and the Orient, to the dawn that is, that shall be, and has been, free-visioned of the madness and the mean. He stood where Asia crowned with ravishment, the curtain of love's in a shrine and rent, and after had gone, scarred by the unseen. There at his touch there was a treasure chest, and in it was a gleam, but not of gold, and on it like a flame these words were scrolled: I keep the mintage of eternity. Who comes to take one coin may take the rest, and all may come, but not without the key. The innocent. Optimistic, childlike, well disposed to seeing the good in everything, well adjusted to the world, eager to please, naive. If there is anything that we wish to change in the child, we should first examine it and see whether it is not something that could better be changed in ourselves. Camus describes the absurd man as innocent. Don Juan, for instance. Sin is not so much knowing. If it were, everybody would be innocent, as wanting to know. Indeed, it is the only sin of which the absurd man can feel that it constitutes both his guilt and his innocence. He has offered a solution in which all the past contradictions have become merely polemical games. But this is not the way he experienced them. Their truth must be preserved, which consists in not being satisfied. He does not want preaching. An attempt is made to get him to admit his guilt. He feels innocent. To tell the truth, that is all he feels, his irreparable innocence. This is what allows him everything. The explorer. The audacious traveller, open to novelty and adventure, with a deep love of discovering new places and new things about themselves, forever searching for perfection, never satisfied. One may think of James Joyce and Ulysses, but, according to Young, Joyce's Ulysses, very much unlike his ancient namesake, is a passive, merely perceiving consciousness, a mere eye, ear, nose, and mouth, a sensory nerve exposed without choice or check to the roaring, chaotic, lunatic cataract of psychic and physical happenings, and registering all this with almost photographic accuracy. The pitiless stream rolls on without a break, and its velocity or viscosity increases in the last 40 pages till it sweeps away even the punctuation marks. Here the suffocating emptiness becomes so unbearably tense that it reaches a bursting point. This utterly hopeless emptiness is the dominant note of the whole book. It not only begins and ends in nothingness, It consists of nothing but nothingness. It is all infernally nugatory. As a piece of technical virtuosity, it is a brilliant and hellish monster birth. We may come touch and go from atoms and ifs, but we are presurely destined to be odds without ends. The ruler, striving for stability, believing themselves being able to bring order out of chaos, striving for excellence, desiring everyone to follow their lead, not short of reasons for why they should be listened to, desiring to impose their will upon others. Life is crazy and meaningful at once, and when we do not laugh over the one aspect and speculate about the other, life is exceedingly drab, and everything is reduced to the littlest scale. There is then little sense and little nonsense either. Man woke up in a world he did not understand, and that is why he tries to interpret it. Thus the anima and life itself are meaningless, insofar as they offer no interpretation. Yet they have a nature that can be interpreted, for in all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order, in all caprice a fixed law. Freudian slip, maybe. For everything that works is grounded on its opposite. The plot is laid, if all things fall out right, I shall as famous be by this exploit as Scythian Tomius by Cyrus' death. The creator, lover of novelty, desirous of freedom, wishing to transform things to make something new, dislike conformity, clever, self-sufficient, imaginative, good-humoured, prone to inconsistency. The biographies of great artists make it abundantly clear that the creative urge is often so imperious that it battens on their humanity and yokes everything to the service of the work, even at the cost of health and ordinary human happiness. The unborn work in the psyche of the artist is a force of nature that achieves its end either with tyrannical might or with the subtle cunning of nature herself, quite regardless of the personal fate of the man who is its vehicle. The creative urge lives and grows in him like a tree in the earth from which it draws its nourishment. We would do well, therefore, to think of the creative process as a living thing implanted in the human psyche. The impact of an archetype, whether it takes the form of immediate experience or is expressed through the spoken word, stirs us because it summons up a voice that is stronger than our own. Whoever speaks in primordial images speaks with 1,000 voices. He enthralls and overpowers, while at the same time he lifts the idea he is seeking to express out of the occasional and the transitory into the realm of the ever-enduring. He transmutes our personal identity into the destiny of mankind and evokes in us all those beneficent forces that ever and anon have enabled humanity to find a refuge from every peril and to outlive the longest night. The caregiver, feeling stronger than others, offering maternal protection to those around them to ease their sufferings, seeking to prevent that which is likely to threaten the happiness of others, sometimes a martyr who will remind us of their sacrifices. Pandora by Dante Gabriel Rossetti. What of the end, Pandora? Was it thine, the deed that set those fiery pinions free? Ah, wherefore did the Olympian consistory in its own likeness make thee half divine? Was it that Juno's brow might stand a sign for ever, and the mien of Pallas be a deadly thing, and that all men might see in Venus' eye the gaze of Proserpine? What of the end? These beat their wings at will, the ill-born things, the good things turn to ill, powers of the impassioned hours prohibited. I clench the casket now, whither they go, thou mayest not dare to think, nor canst thou know, if hope still pent there be alive or dead. The daughter of Pandora and Epimetheus. The man who always broods afterwards on his unthinking actions is fittingly named Epimelia. Care. The magician. A revolutionary, regenerating and renewing for themselves and for others, continually growing and transforming. Their mood can be catching, not in a good way, sometimes turning positive events into negative ones. Natural man is not a self. He is the mass and the particle in the mass, collective to such a degree that he is not even sure of his own ego. That is why since time immemorial he has needed the transformation mysteries to turn him into something and to rescue him from the animal collective psyche, which is nothing but a variety. But if we reject this unseemly variety of man as he is, it is impossible for him to attain integration, to become a self, and that amounts to spiritual death. Life just happens in and for itself is not real life. It is real only when it is known. Only a unified personality can experience life, not that personality which is split up into partial aspects, that bundle of odds and ends, which also calls itself man. You are an alchemist, make gold of that. Out, rascal dogs. Or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monarch's plague, this flattery, or whether shall I say mine eyes say true, and that your love taught it, this alchemy, to make of monsters and things indigest, such cherubims as your sweet self resemble, creating every bad a perfect best, as fast as objects to his beams assemble. Oh, 'tis the first, 'tis flattery in my seeing, and my great mind most kingly drinks it up. Mine eyes well know what with his gust is greeing, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. If it be poisoned, 'tis the lesser sin, that mine eye loves it, and doth first begin. A hero. A life revolving around power, an uncommon vitality and resistance that they employ to fight for power and or honor, will do anything to avoid losing. They never give up, so never lose anyway, though they can be overly ambitious or controlling. The Poet as Hero by Siegfried Sassoon. You heard me, scornful, harsh, and discontented, mocking and loathing. War, you've asked me why. Of my old silly sweetness I've repented. My ecstasy's changed to an ugly cry. You are aware that once I sought the Grail, riding in armor bright, serene, and strong, and it was told that through my infant wail there rose immortal semblances of song. But now I've said good-bye to Galahad, and am no more the knight of dreams and show, for lust and senseless hatred makes me glad, and my gilded friends are with me where I go. Wound for red wound I burn to smite their wrongs, and there is abolition in my songs. Psychologically, the archetype is an image of instinct. As an image of instinct is a spiritual goal towards which the whole nature of man strives. The prize which the hero wrests from the fight with the dragon. That was definitely a Freudian slip. The rebel. Transgressor, a provoker, no care at all about other people's opinions, thus going against the grain, thinking for themselves, a dislike of being pressured or influenced, but they can become self-destructive. The rebel defies more than he denies. Originally, at least, he does not deny God. He simply talks to him as an equal. But it is not a polite dialogue. It is a polemic, animated by the desire to conquer. The slave starts by begging for justice, and ends by wanting to wear a crown. He too wants to dominate. His insurrection against his condition, is transformed into an unlimited campaign against the heavens for the purpose of capturing a king who will first be dethroned and finally condemned to death. Human rebellion ends in metaphysical revolution. It progresses from appearance to facts, from dilettantism to revolutionary commitment. When the throne of God is overthrown, the rebel realizes that it is now his own responsibility to create the justice, order, and unity that he sought in vain with his own condition, and in this way to justify the fall of God. Then begins the desperate effort to create, at the price of sin if necessary, the dominion of man. This cannot come about without appalling consequences of which we are only, so far, aware of a few. But these consequences are in no way due to rebellion itself, or at least they only occur to the extent that rebellion forgets its original purpose, tires of the tension caused by its positive and negative attitude, and finally abandons itself to complete negation or total submission. Albert Camus. Nothing is gained if a valuable ideal is merely destroyed and not replaced by something better. The lover. All heart and sensitivity, in love with love, and they have love to lavish love on others. Their greatest happiness is feeling loved, enjoying all things pleasing to the senses, valuing beauty in all meanings of that term above all else. The man who has surrendered entirely to the outside world encounters it in the form of some intimate and beloved being, to whom, should his destiny lie in extreme devotion to a personal object, he will experience the whole ambivalence of the world and of his own nature. The Presence of Love by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And in life's noisiest hour, there whispers still the ceaseless love of thee, the heart's self-solace and soliloquy. You mould my hopes, you fashion me within, and to the leading love throb in the heart, through all my being, through my pulses beat, you lie in all my many thoughts like light, like the fair light of dawn, or summer eve, or rippling stream, or cloud reflecting lake, and looking to the heaven that bends above you, how oft I bless the lot that made me love you. The jester likes to laugh, even at themselves. They don't wear any masks, how topical, and tend to break down other people's walls. How topical, by the way, refers to masks during an epidemic. That is what I refer to there. Never to take themselves seriously because their goal in life is to enjoy it, but they can be lewd and lazy. Sir Toby Belch, pourquoi, my dear knight? Sir Andrew, what is pourquoi? Do or not do? I would have had bestowed that time in the tongues that I have in fencing, dancing, and bear-baiting. Oh, had I but followed the arts. Sir Toby Belch. Then hadst thou had an excellent head of hair. Sir Andrew. Why, would that have mended my hair? Sir Toby Belch. Past question. For thou seest, it will not curl by nature. Sir Andrew. But it becomes me well enough, does it not? Sir Toby Belch. Excellent. It hangs like flax on the distaff, and I hope to see a housewife take thee between her legs and spin it off. One very common displacement is the disguising of a complex by the superimposition of a contrasting mood. We frequently meet this phenomenon in people who have to banish some chronic worry. Among these people we often find the best wits, the finest humorists, whose jokes, however, are spiced with a grain of bitterness. Number 12. The Orphan. They walk around with open wounds, feeling betrayed and disappointed, desiring others to take charge of their life, and when that doesn't happen they are disappointed, tending to spend time with people that feel just like they do, often playing the victim, pretending to be innocent. They can be cynical and manipulative. Song of the Orphan by Rainer Maria Rilke. I am no one and never will be anyone, for I am far too small to claim to be. Not even later mothers and fathers take pity on me. I fear it will not pay to raise me. I shall fall victim to the mower's scythe. No one can find me useful now. I am too young, and tomorrow will be too late. I only have one dress, worn thin and faded, but it will last an eternity, even before God perhaps. I only have this wispy hair that always remained the same, yet once was someone's dearest love. Now he has nothing that he loves. I am an orphan, alone. Nevertheless I am found everywhere. I am one, but opposed to myself. I am youth and old man at one and the same time. I have not known neither father nor mother, because I have had to be fetched out of the deep like a fish, or fell like a white stone from heaven. In woods and mountains I roam, but I am hidden in the innermost soul of man. I am mortal, for everyone, yet I am not touched by the cycle of eons.